Yo, we're back. Welcome to Get Blueshelled number
back.
52.
Woo! We did it. We survived more than one podcast session.
We did. This is a new streak for us. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We have a whole new setup. I hope you guys enjoy it. It'll look a little less like sketch than the last one that I had. There's a story behind it, but anyway. Today, I'm here with my cousin Ryan and my good friend Mike. And yeah, we're going to talk about Nintendo Switch 2. But first, we have to recap. And we also have to update you on news regarding the podcast. So let's start with the news updates. So we decided that we're going to continue doing the podcast because we had so much fun doing it. So starting today, every other Thursday, we're going to be going live with Get Blueshelled on this channel. So you can look forward to seeing us every other week on Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern time zone. So if you guys have suggestions for us, you can always hit me up in one of my streams, or you can just tag one of us on Twitter. I just realized I forgot to put our Twitters on the overlay, so I'll do that for next time. But yeah, you can always shoot us, a question and we'll answer it, or just hop into the Twitch chat or YouTube chat and just talk to us. I mean, that also works.
It works. Yeah.
It works.
Yeah, so definitely we're excited to be here. One other thing I want to talk about was Ryan. A little birdie told me that you beat Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. So I kind of wanted your opinions.
That's true.
I did. Yes, I beat it. And I loved it. I mean, you both know my thoughts. And I think I mentioned this last time that I've always been predominantly a Nintendo gamer, but in the last year, I got my PS5 because I wanted to play certain games. And one of them, or one series, I should say, is the Final Fantasy VII Remake series. I played Remake, I had a blast. I loved it. Played Rebirth, and it's even better. I mean, the game, and Mike knows, Mike's playing through it too. The game has so much content. It's such a great story. The gameplay is a lot of fun. Some of the best battle systems I've ever played through. It has like a ton of content, a lot of things to explore. And they did a great job with the soundtrack and the visuals. It just really is a really magical game, I think. And I know the original is a classic. People love the original Final Fantasy VII. It came back out in 1997. But I think that when it's all said and done, once Part 3 comes out in a couple years, I think the Final Fantasy VII game or series or whatever you want to call it will end up being one of my favorite games of all time. So
That's awesome. Now, Mike, I want to hear your thoughts too, because I've actually never played it. I haven't played the original. I haven't played the remake. So this is just between you two.
I love the game. I'm with Ryan where it's really, really good. I fell in love with the first one. Me and Ryan offline went back and forth on this a little bit. I do think the open world stuff's a little filler. But that being said, it's still really, really good. Like, my attention's still fully there. It's just like you get to this good story moment. You're like, okay, well, now I guess I'll spend the next 5 hours exploring the world and fighting random monsters and opening random chests and whatnot. So that's really my only complaint. Other than that, it's really, really good. I can definitely see why Ryan puts it so high up. And honestly, it's probably up there for me too.
Well,
yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
go ahead.
no, I would agree with that. I mean, I think like it's a really great game. Obviously, it's not like perfect. I mean, I think to Mike's point, there is like a lot of filler. Like obviously, there's a lot to explore. You don't have to explore it. You can kind of just truck through the story if you want to. But while there's a lot of content and optional things to do, there is a lot of filler even in the main story. Like sometimes like force you to do like a little like, oh, I can't cross this gap, so I must find something to cross this gap somewhere. And some parts do slow down a little bit. I'll be honest, there it has a little bit of bloating, and it has a lot of mini games. And mini games are fun for optional content, although some are a lot better than others.
Yeah, that's some good ones.
But yeah, overall, I think it's great. Not perfect, but I'm excited to see what they do in Part 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'm really excited. So my boyfriend Alex is he played the first one. I don't know if he played the second one, but he's been enjoying it a lot. He was obsessed with that little music box thing where you could just make music.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it's great that they went through and remade those games because they're fan favorites. They were aging, but now you're gonna bring in a whole new audience with a whole new basically generation playing these games, and I think that's really cool. I hope to one day play it. I don't have a PlayStation, but I know Alex will let me just use his whenever I want to play it. But personally, I'm actually a little bit more excited to play Final Fantasy 16, just because I think it's a little bit newer and it's got a new combat system. So I think if I was going to dive into one, I'd probably dive into 16 first, but 7 would be like right behind it.
That's fair.
would say 16 I did enjoy more. I think 16 is honestly one of my favorites. It's
Really?
I really, really liked it.
What sets that one apart from the others and puts it like above it? What would you
I
think?
think it's like the combat's really good. I know people are like, oh, they're going away from RPG, but action, it's like so good. I wish it was a little harder. I breezed through the game pretty easily, difficulty wise.
Mm-hmm.
But the moments were really good. Like the story beats, like I still remember some of them.
Really? Yeah, I know Alex was a big fan of the stories. And I liked the the 4 Archons. I liked that as well. That was cool.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. And then are you excited? You guys don't play Magic the Gathering, right?
I have not, no.
Okay, so Alex may have ordered all 4 Commander decks and a collector booster box because they're doing a crossover with Final Fantasy.
Oh yeah, I did hear about that.
Yeah, it's
I
gonna
did
be
hear that,
really
yes.
sick. It's gonna be really sick. So
That's awesome. Yeah, let us know how that goes.
oh yeah, maybe we'll do a stream. We'll open them all up on stream. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be a fun one.
Cool. Well, so the next thing we were gonna talk about was I'm sorry. I keep saying Final Fantasy. We were gonna talk about Xenoblade X, but I don't think any of us played it yet.
Not yet. I picked it up after work. I got myself my copy.
Yeah, I
right
got it
here.
too. Yeah, there it is. Mike, hold up your game.
No, stop. I gotta find the Wii U.
Wait, for the thumbnail, Mike, I need you to go. Ryan, lift it up.
Mike exposed party.
That's funny.
The point is so mean.
That's so funny. That's so good. So actually I have a small change of plans with that. I was going to start it today, but then it's a whole long story, but we've been having some car issues, so I've been kind of tied up with that. My car is all good, so don't worry. But that being said, I think tomorrow night Alex and I are going to play together because I didn't want to start it without him since he's never played it before. So I think tomorrow we're going to start playing it, and then I'm actually going to see Ryan on Sunday.
Nice.
So yeah, and then we're going to hopefully play a little bit of that, and Alex has invited one of his friends.
Mode.
Yeah, exactly. So Mike, once you get it, let me know. We're going to do some co-op. So yeah, okay. I think we should just dive right into the Nintendo Switch 2 stuff. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think so. Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, it's in 2 weeks, which is exciting.
Yeah, so April 2nd at 9 a.m. Ryan's going to block out a part of his calendar so that he could watch it.
I mean,
you call it out like that, but
I mean, it's our first new system for Nintendo since 2017. I feel like I can't miss this because the problem is
spare them an hour.
Well, because the problem is if you miss this, you have to completely just get off the internet entirely, and that's gonna be very hard. So I gotta just watch live. Hopefully, nothing crazy happens with work. So yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. I can't believe. I mean, this was announced back on January 16th, and I can't believe we're only like 13 days away.
Yeah.
I think Ryan, you just have to pretend that you're having a stomach issue. And just be like, guys, I'm really sorry, but for the next 27 minutes, I can't leave the bathroom.
Just no one disturb me in my meeting.
I have a very important meeting.
Yeah, so I'm definitely gonna be watching this. I'm very excited for it. So let's take a couple predictions, because the thing is actually, before we get into predictions, let's talk about one thing. Let's talk about what we already know about the Switch 2. That way we could talk about our predictions after. And to be honest, I kind of forgot what was already confirmed. The three of us really followed the leaks, right? So we were kind of, watching those Twitter leaks for like 9 months leading up to the reveal. And I've kind of forgotten what was a rumor and what was actually confirmed. So if you guys if you remember, I'm sure Ryan, you remember too.
Yeah, Ryan probably remembers everything. I feel like it's tough because I feel like they didn't actually confirm a lot. Like, we really just have the trailer, right? Like, that's the only confirmed.
Yeah, I think so, right? Like, we haven't gotten any statements, have we?
No, I think it's just been the official trailer, which confirmed a lot of what was in some leaks and also in some patents and whatnot, and maybe some data mining. So I don't think there was any surprises from the Switch 2 first look trailer. I think it was a lot of confirmation of what we have already kind of suspected. So we can kind of go through what we already know, as well as like what we are going to predict. Before we even get to the predictions, also like what do we think are some other rumors that have been floating out there? What do we think about release date, price? And then we can kind of go into like our bingo board predictions. So
let's just start with the basic thing. When do we think this is gonna come out?
So for a while, I kind of I texted you both this. I kind of fell down a rabbit hole where I thought for a while it was going to be May 15th because the stars kind of were aligning really well for that. Because number one, there was a new Lego Mario Kart set coming out, which is like, oh, they'll probably launch that with the new Mario Kart, which probably will launch with the Switch. Then they said, oh, we're also going to be opening a San Francisco store on that day, May 15th. And then also I was looking at like the spacing and the time between the Switch announcement, the Switch Direct, and then the Switch release. And I was kind of mapping that with the Switch 2, and almost like to the day, maybe a few days off, would be like May 15th. So I was like all set for a while thinking, going to be May 15th, that's the date. I feel like some people pointed out like that really is a lot for one day, and Nintendo usually, even though we give them flack for some things, they're pretty smart with how they do their business. And I don't think they're going to, blow their load all in one day. So maybe the store will open, maybe to like kind of continue to promote the system before launch. So maybe I'll put my official pin in like shortly after the store open, and maybe I'll go with May 22nd.
Okay. I just have to say really quick, Mike, before you give your impression, this is how I see Ryan right now. I'm clicking all the wrong ones. There we go. That's Ryan. That's Ryan.
Pepe Sylvia.
That's funny. Okay, Mike, so what do you think? Since Ryan's got the police after him. They're like, wait, Ryan knows the release date. That's funny.
I think I'm honestly hesitant to disagree with Ryan. I feel like he's done his research, all jokes aside. I'm going with June, though. I feel like
June. Okay, all right, so tell us why, though.
I feel this is based off just pure intuition. It's mainly off the point Ryan made already, though, where I don't think they would release everything on the same day. Like, it's really odd that like the Lego thing and the Nintendo store, and I get this is like a Japan company, so we really shouldn't go off too many like America things. But that being said, I really do see them like using the store as like, okay, like we're gonna build it up, because like they could get so many people at a store, just using that as an example, by just existing, right? Like they're gonna get so much foot traffic, so much like, I don't know, merchandise sold and all this stuff just for being like, hey, we're a Nintendo store. Here's like a Pokemon plushie.
Yeah.
And they're going to sell out like right away. So I think they would realistically give that like a month or so to cook and then have the new Switch come in.
So that's a great point. Here's my question for you guys. That Lego set that got announced, right? When was that announced for? Was that May?
That was May.
And it's a Mario Kart set, right?
Yes.
They still haven't formally announced Mario Kart, even though from the leaks, according to the leaks, that's a launch title.
Yes, I do think that they can officially announce the game in the Direct, which I guess we'll go over later.
Yeah,
and then be okay releasing the Lego set, even though the game didn't come out.
Right, you knew where I was going with that.
Yeah.
Because I was gonna say, I feel like they can do that. I feel like there's also a world where they don't do that, where the game comes out first. Yeah. But I don't know which one's right. I just want to throw it out there and be like, well, on this May 15th, all these things seem to be happening. Would they also do that to distract from the Switch? Like, I feel like those products won't sell as well. They won't get the attention that they need because of the Switch. But I think the biggest thing is the pop-up that throws a wrench in that, because I feel like if you're releasing a console and you want to make a big thing about it, have a pop-up and then have people come by and like, see, like have a big event for it in person. I still sit with the May. I'm going to say this. I'm actually going to kind of side with Ryan. I don't know if it's going to be May 15th, but I can see the thing coming out either at the very end of May or the very early June. And I'll tell you why. They're doing a in-person Switch 2 event in April. And the thing is, I can't see them doing a hands-on first impression Switch thing and then waiting another like 3 months for that to go back out into the world. So I feel like if you're going to have a hands-on thing, it's going to be a month or 2 months out from like the actual launch. Get that hype, get those people in there, and you don't want people to forget how excited they were. Because you have that in-person thing and then people wait. People are still excited, but like the hype is starting to die down. So I think I would say somewhere in between the two of you.
Well, let me ask this. Is that going to be the only pop-up thing? Like, is that like the only pop-up thing? Because is it maybe they like release the one. They're like, okay, in a couple of weeks we're doing it in another place. And
that's a good idea.
Roll it out.
No, that's a great idea, Mike. I don't know, actually, because I think they just announced that one day or that one place.
I think so.
So I think it's like a mixture of two things, because I think this May 15th is going to be the launch of the San Francisco store. So I think it's all. I don't think it's like a pop up. I think it's like a store launch in San Francisco.
Oh, okay.
But then keep in mind they have the whole thing where they said, okay, the Switch 2 experience, where remember you can like register for events.
Yeah, that's what I thought we were talking about with the pop-up.
Oh, I'm sorry. I think I confused the two. Yeah, I meant the Switch experience. To be clear, I'm not talking about the pop. I thought they were 1 and 2. I thought it was a pop up with the Switch experience.
Yeah, the San Francisco store is its own thing.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's what I thought. I could be wrong.
Yeah, like the Switch experience for as an example, I think is going to be like in New York in the first week of April, like right after the Direct, then Los Angeles, then Dallas, then I think they're going to have some global ones as well, like in Japan or whatnot. So I think, to your point, Nicole, they're not going to want to have these, Switch experience events and say, okay, now wait 3 more months. That's just going to kind of kill the hype. That's why I think we're all probably on the same page. This is launching before first half of the year ends. So by the end of June, this is definitely launching.
Yeah.
I think
June
it comes down.
I wouldn't go in July.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
So I think even though I do agree with both you and Mike, Nicole, that May 15th just seems a little crowded for it. That's why I was thinking the 22nd, but I could also see Mike being correct that it's June. I think it'll be somewhere between like the end of May and early June. I mean, yes, could it be the end of June? Sure. But I feel like it'll be kind of right around that late May, early June window.
Yeah, I could easily see that. Although now I'm thinking, could it be late June? Because if they're going to be doing all these Switch experiences, if they do 1 a week, let's say, you just named off another like 4-5 places. And obviously you're not going to have a hands-on experience after it releases, right? Like that seems weird. My only hope is it better be out before August, because I'm going to Japan and I want to bring it on my trip to Japan.
I think you'll be okay there. I think it's a safe bet, unless they really mess up somehow.
I can't see it being in August. I think our worst case scenario is that it's July, but I still think it's May or June. August seems like it's way too far out for that.
Yeah, and I'm assuming you both are like day oneers, right?
Yeah.
Like you're pre-ordering this. Yeah, okay. I was the same way with the Switch 1, to be honest. I watched that presentation and I was like, I need this.
Yeah. But I remember I was hesitant about the Switch 1, not to go into a full tangent, because I forgot what they released with. Maybe Ryan knows, but I remember I was worried because it's like the Wii U was sort of just like a failure, all things considered. I enjoyed my Wii U, but I'm like, okay, is the Switch is gonna be like another thing I really don't use that often? But obviously, I'm very happy I was wrong.
I think a lot of people were in that boat, and I think myself included. But I do think that it came at a time where I was traveling a lot.
Yeah.
And I tend to always like get a little overhyped and expect a little bit more out of something than it actually ends up being. So I think part of me was like, okay, I'm traveling to the city every single day. Now I get to play my console games on my way to work. So I think I kind of just like jumped on the bandwagon early, but it's hard if you're a hardcore Nintendo fan and then the Wii U is a failure after the Wii. You're just like, I don't understand. Like what is going on with this company? And now we have the hindsight, right? Like we're Monday night quarterback right now, looking back and saying, actually, why were we worried? The Switch was a brilliant thing. But back then, I mean, people were nervous because the thing was the Wii U had a gimmick of you can go take it and go. That's how they marketed it, was take your game and you can go to the bathroom and poop while you're playing Mario. It's like, now you actually can, but it was scary. You didn't know if it didn't really work well. Sorry, go ahead,
it's
Mike.
like, how powerful is this console going to be? Like, it's like portable, but like, does it run as well as like a PS3, for example, whatever it might be? So it's scary, but here we are. It worked out.
Mike, when the Switch came out, Mike and I were working at the same company, actually. Did you ever bring your Switch to work?
I had to have at least once or twice. I would say yeah, but I don't know. The thing is, I walked to the city and took a bus and just used the bus to
That's
nap.
right, yeah.
So I didn't really need it, but I'm sure I brought it like once or twice or a couple times.
Yeah, like for me, I took that train and I was actually on a swing shift, I believe, when that came out. So I actually was like going in at like 10:30, 11.
Yeah.
And so it was like a nice quiet train. I had like the seat to myself. It was nice. So I used to play. And then I actually took it on a train to Amtrak once, which was nice. But that's neither here nor there. All right, so now that we've kind of narrowed down the release window, the next big elephant in the room is, how much do we think this is going to cost? So I'm going to ask each of you 2 questions. How much do you think it's going to cost, and how much are you willing to pay? So Ryan, we haven't heard from you, so why don't you go first?
Yeah, so I think what I think it'll cost is probably around 350. There's a chance it could be 400. I would not be shocked if it's 400. But I think my thought process is this: it's that the Switch costs 300. The Switch has not had a price cut yet. I definitely think as soon as this gets announced or released, like they're gonna announce a Switch price cut. It hasn't happened for 7 years. Or 8 years. It's definitely time. 350 makes me think because it's a very similar system to the Switch. It's a more powerful Switch, which is what we want. But it's not like it's the Wii U to the Switch, where it's like we need to make a huge jump. So I think it could be 350. But if it's really, and we'll get into this when we get into the other like rumors or predictions, if it really is like as powerful as they say, like somewhere in between like an Xbox Series X and like a PS4, or like pretty powerful, maybe it could go up to 400 if it's really worth the price. So I'll think my guess is 350, maybe 400. How much would I be willing to pay? I mean, I mainly play Nintendo, so they're gonna have me pretty much like locked in. I mean, look, I paid 500 for my PS5, and that's because it's a very powerful system. When I pay 500 day one for a Switch 2, I would bemoan, but I would do it. But like, realistically, if it was like over 400, I would be like, that's a little steep. But again, it's like, listen, this is not the PS5 Pro that was like $700.
Yeah.
It's not like it's that. So as long as it's realistic, they'll have me. But I predict 350 to 400.
Okay, Mike, what about you?
Honestly, I'm probably just gonna be repeating Brian the entire time. I'm at the 350 mark too. My biggest thing is they want to appeal to families like always. So I think they're gonna try to keep it as low as possible while still making a profit. And if it's not as strong as a PS5, I think they could definitely hit the 350 mark. If it is like somehow as powerful as it, I think they would bump it up to 400. But I'm with Ryan where I can't see it being more than 400. I think 350 though is a safe bet.
So how much would you be willing to pay if assuming the rumors that we've heard are true and that there's no like curveball and that it's not as powerful as a PS5? You have these other little gimmicks and stuff. How much would you be willing to pay for, like, if this dropped now and this is what you know about it, you have to order it?
I think I wouldn't pay more than 500 as well. Again, I'm just repeating Ryan.
No, that's fine. That's interesting.
I wouldn't be happy about it. I think 500 for a console like that is crazy, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
But that being said, if it's like strong, the games are there, the functionality's there, so on and so forth. Like, I guess the best way to put it, there is a world where they could justify the price. I just don't see it.
Yeah, it also varies per person, right? Like,
yeah,
it varies by how powerful is this product, like what capabilities does it have, functions, games. I mean, what's the launch title system look like, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
I know I didn't hop on the 3DS originally because I don't think there were really any games that came out for the 3DS on launch that were like enticing me. So I'm actually going to differ from you two in terms of what I think it's going to cost and how much I'd be willing to pay. I actually am in the camp that it's going to cost at least 400, and I would not be surprised if it went up to 450. The reason why is because I think they've proven that the Nintendo Switch is a great console. They're not afraid that it's not going to sell. I also think just between inflation and just the way that everything's rising, they can get away with it because everybody else is doing it. And they're still cheaper than their competition. Do we know what the Switch 1 released at? Was that 350?
No, I think the Switch 1 released at 300, like 299, and I think it's remained at 299.
Okay. Yeah, I still think it's going to go up $100. Now, I don't see it being over 500.
Yeah.
No.
To be honest, though, I'd probably be willing to pay up to about 600 or 700 if the specs were there. Only because I am just such a like Nintendo fan. The thing is, I would like start gritting my teeth at 600 and being like, you better be giving me a really good product. The problem is, like, there are games that I love that are gatekept by Nintendo because they're first party. So it really starts coming into, it's not just the Switch, it's I want to play these games too. I don't think it's going to be that much, to be clear. I'm still in the camp of it's going to be 400 to 450, which I think is very reasonable considering its competition with the Steam Deck as well. I don't know how much a Steam Deck is actually. Let me just check really quick. The Steam Deck is around $500, it looks like.
Yeah.
So if I feel like the Steam Deck is more powerful than the Switch. Maybe not I don't know about the Switch 2, but I feel like you could stay around the price point and maybe slightly undercut it by like $50. So like $450, like I said. I could see them doing that.
The whole thing with the Steam Deck, like Steam Deck's a hard comparison because on paper it's like the same thing, right? It's handheld games.
Yeah.
Bring it wherever, yada yada yada. But the problem with the Steam Deck that makes it like worth the 500, like I have a Steam Deck, I love it. The thing that makes it worth it is you have access to the entire Steam library. And yeah, some games are not compatible, yada yada. But I think it's important to keep in mind, and I actually am curious if Nintendo keeps in mind, I'm sure they do, is you gotta buy games with it, right? I know for a fact I could buy a Steam Deck, pay the 500, and then pay like $20 and get like 10 games,
Yeah.
I know that's like an extreme example because it's like I'll just download free games and like $2 games and games on sale. But with Nintendo, you're sort of locked in at $60 and now $70 games when you get the Switch 2.
Yeah.
And if they release with like 3 games that you want, then you're shelling out. I'm just gonna say I think it's gonna be $70 games.
Oh yeah, the second that they announced that they were getting rid of the voucher program, I realized that they're $70 games.
They tested it with like Zelda. I forgot what the other
was Zelda 70?
Tears of the Kingdom was 70.
Yeah. Oh really? I don't remember that. Okay.
And then I take your word. There's another one. I might be blanking, but
well, GTA. Did you see the rumors that GTA 5 is going to be $100?
Yeah, I saw that one.
Like they're gonna get away with that. You realize that, right? Like people are going to buy it. And that's the problem that I'm also finding. Like trust me, I'm not gonna get on a big rant, but I have to bring it up because I feel like it's important. Is scalping is a huge problem in the Pokemon TCG right now, where like a normal ETB is supposed to retail. ETB is like 7 packs of Pokemon cards, like a little pack of 6 die. You get some sleeves and like a promo card. Okay, retail packs for Pokemon are supposed to be like $3, $4, $5. An ETB that has 7 packs in it is supposed to retail for $50 to $60. It's supposed to be an entryway for people to get into competitive Pokemon. The ETBs for the last set that just came out were $140.
Oh my god!
Over double the price.
Yeah.
It's insane. So booster boxes, 36 packs of Pokemon. I can usually get it for about 130, 140 at a retailer, or at a local card store. I can get it for like 120 maybe. The last one sold at, not this previous set, but the set before that, sold at like 170. And the new one that's coming out, my LGS said they're going to sell it at 220.
Oof.
And I'm saying because of the scalpers. And I'm saying to myself, I'm like, listen, I get that you guys have a business you have to run. I get that the distributors are like really jacking up the prices, which is affecting the local card stores. But the problem that I'm having is like, people are paying that. That's the thing. Because I think to myself, I would never pay that. So obviously that price is going to come down. But the thing is, people are going to buy $70 games, and that's just going to become the norm. That's why on the App Store on phones, everything is a subscription because people are paying subscriptions. The one buy and done is over. So that's the end of my rant, but I felt like it was important to bring up here.
To add to it, I think, just not to go too into it, I guess, but I like that some game companies are smart about it because it's like, yes, people pay for it, but there are companies out there, and I'll list a few, where they realize the quality of their product that should match the price. So like GTA is a little crazy. That's $100 or going to be. I'm just gonna say it is 100 because I feel like it will be.
I think it will be, and that's insane. But people are gonna buy it.
It's insane. But it's like some people play GTA 5 as like their only game with the online.
Yeah.
So and we could get into like the microtransactions too that go with it. That's insane. But if they limit their microtransactions, which they won't, but let's just say they do, and for $100, it's like, and it's gonna last you a while. I wouldn't pay it, or I would be waiting for a sale at the very least. But people would pay for it. But then there's games like Boulder Gates 3 where it's like it's such a good example where it's like, this is $60, you get everything, nothing else, and you're good to go. It's like, all right, that's fair. And honestly, that game should be worth $100.
Yeah.
Or at least 70. And then you have games like Split Fiction that came out, like that co-op game, where it's like, okay, like this is $50. It's like a standard length game, but only one person needs to have it, and the other person can just download the front pass. So really, you reduce it in half if you and a friend split it, so it's like $25.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
So there are companies out there doing the right thing. It's just a shame that it's like too few and far between.
Yeah, it's sad. Like when I saw the GTA thing, I was just like,
yeah.
I feel like I'm constantly being gaslit, because it's just like, I can't believe that this is actually happening, but it is.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, we've been long-term gamers. And I know that, you know, games themselves have not really risen in price a lot since we started doing this 20 plus years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, I got my first game, which was Pokemon, in 1998. I was 6. I've been gaming ever since then. And I think between the combination of games have just become so business-fied, like, it's not a passion anymore. And, like, everything's about money. Everything's about, we got to keep the investors happy. We got to keep the bottom line up. And then on top of that, it's, we also aren't just putting, like, the quality in it, but we want more money.
Mm-hmm.
And also, sorry, and then the other thing I was going to say was, a lot of these games are just not very, like, inventive. Like, Split Fiction, I think, is a great example of, like, a really cool new game that came out.
Yes,
like, I think it's very unique, and that's awesome. But, like, a lot of other games that are coming out, it's like, do we really need Assassin's Creed 12 that's, like, the same thing that it's been for the last 6 times?
$70.
And then you're gonna, exactly. So,
and one thing I'll say as well is that in terms of, and you just made an interesting point, Nicole, and I'm glad you brought up Split Fiction, because it's from the same company that made It Takes Two, which, you know, Mike played it. It's a really great game, one game of the year. That's a company, I think it's, what is it, Mike Hazelight?
Yeah, I think that's the name.
So I think now, because you said, Nicole, a lot of things are becoming, like, commercialized, and they care about the money, and it's not as much of a passion. That's why I feel like there's, Hazelight. I think that's why it's been such an indie surge, because I think people see the love and passion that indies put into their game.
Yes, that's a really good point.
And it's not all about the money, because guess what? If you didn't know, Nicole, or people don't know this, yes, Split Fiction, Mike, how much does Split Fiction cost, Mike?
I think it's 50.
50. It's a co-op game. You can only play a co-op. Yes, you and your friend can each buy it if you want your own copy. You only need one copy to play the game.
Yeah,
like,
for
if I
two
want to play
people.
with you, exactly. If I want to play with you, Nicole, I can buy the game, give you a friend code, which can also, by the way, be cross-platform.
That's cool.
Yeah,
and
it is cross-platform. It is really
and I can give you a code, and the two of us can play for $50. And that's and then, like, other companies would never do that.
No,
So
no.
Like, they're so passionate about it. They're like, hey, we want you guys to
Exactly.
play with your friend. We don't want anything to stop you from playing.
Exactly.
That's amazing. No, that's amazing. And it kind of brings me back to, like, earlier Nintendo days. Do you guys remember on the DS you had DS Download Play?
Yes,
Oh
that was
yeah,
great.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, I mean, I know it was very, very minimal. Like, only a handful of games had access to it. I really feel like that could have paved the way for a lot of things. And then obviously they ditched it. Nintendo's always kind of had really cool ideas like that, and then, like, dropped it for either just lack of support or whatever reason. But that's what gaming, like, I felt like in the DS era, gaming was still, like, it was, I don't know, maybe it's just because I was younger, but I still feel like it had that special charm to it, and now
I
it's...
agree with that. It was there. And so, again, some developers keep it alive. Split Fiction's the easy example. And it's just like, it's nice when you see, like, couch co-op again, too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, that's really nice. And I feel like that is also, like, benefits the gamer. Like, brings people together. Like, the core of it, you know? Bring people together, have fun, money well spent, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah. No, I totally agree.
Listen, maybe, I don't know if this is going to happen, but maybe DS Download Play could come back. I mean, that was great. So Nintendo has dipped their toes in those waters before. And obviously we've been talking about some rumors. And by the way, Nicole, I'm going to quickly backtrack for a second and say I completely want to backtrack my 350 prediction. That's way too generous. It's going to be at least 400. I predict 400. I paid 400. So we know in the Switch 2 trailer, they talked about, like, you know, they showed the mouse functionality. They showed the new Joy-Cons with the with the magnets features, but we still, one key thing that we don't know that they will definitely show in the Direct is the C button, which is people speculating, what does C mean? Does C mean connect? Does C mean, like, co-op? What does that mean? Now, I don't know if that would be like something like DS Download Play, but could you imagine if it was a connect feature? I would assume it's maybe like a voice chat feature or something, like, very simple with communications. But what if you could, like, cast your game, or you could have other people, you know, have a similar thing to Download Play?
That's a great point. That was actually one of the first things I thought of when I saw that C button in the rumors. I think it could be a bunch of different things. What I want it to be may not be what it actually is. I agree, like, a DS Download Play would be cool. Unfortunately, I think we're past that, which I hate to say. I just feel like I just think people are like, just buy a second copy. That's why they're pushing more for, like, e-downloads, right? Because Nintendo makes more money off of it. They don't have to sell it to Best Buy to then get the money. I also think that it could be a communications feature. So, like, maybe, like, finally we get a real party, like, chat.
I think that's what it is. I think it's connect that or capture, like it's
Capture or connect, yeah.
Yeah, capture I'm also fine with, but I think the capture button that we currently have was also still on the renders. So I think this is an additional button.
Yeah, that's fine.
So I don't think we're losing the capture functionality. But the last thing that it could be that no one's brought up, I've definitely talked to you guys about it before. I don't know if we talked about it on the podcast. There's a real world that they could finally bring back those like DSi boards, the Wii U boards that were like community boards, so that
Something, what was it called?
Because I mean, C could stand for community, right? So like, what if you get to a point in like a Super Mario Maker level that you can't beat? I mean, you could have a community board, or if you get stuck in a level in like Yoshi's Island or something, like on a puzzle, you can go there and ask for help, and it'll maybe link to directly where you are in the game. You could share screenshots. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of potential with the social aspect that Nintendo once had that they dropped.
Yeah.
Like, it's so weird to me that the Wii is a more social console than the Switch. Like, think about Wii Animal Crossing on the Wii. You had that little microphone, so you could, like, literally send messages to people through Animal Crossing or through, like, the WiiWare, right? On DS, you can send messages to people. On the 3DS, you could send pictures. Like, I know we're in a world where phones exist and smartphones are, like, the primary thing. I'm not asking for another chat message, like, app, but I feel like there's got to be a way to do it with games that at least makes these devices feel a little bit more connected. Yeah. And the last thing I'll say, and then I'll let you guys chime, but Street Pass. Why the hell did they remove Street Pass with the most mobile thing that they've ever created? The most popular mobile console. I mean, really? Like, that's not...
I guess they just afraid people to carry it around as much. I don't know. And it's always a sleep mode. I agree with you.
Like, I just feel like it's like... You had such an amazing thing that people loved, and really, how much development time did you actually have to put into that?
Yeah.
And I just feel like it's unique. Your phone doesn't do that. Chat messages, sending pictures, your phone does that. But this was a unique Nintendo thing that I thought was really cool. So.
Yeah, no, I definitely think it'll be one of those things, whether it stands for community, whether it stands for connect or chat. I think it'll be some type of social feature. I think that would be great for them to try to bring back, because like you said, Nicole, it did go away for a bit, and maybe that's, in fairness to them, it's like, we just created, and obviously everyone's been copying us, we just created a hybrid system that you can play in your house and on the go. You can bring it to your friends. So I get why they maybe moved away from it, because like the Switch is like dual console hybrid functionality really like was their feature there. But now it's like, okay, you can't just sell us a Switch again. I mean they are, but they can't just sell us. You can't just sell us a Switch again, and it's just like a little bit more powerful. I mean, obviously they're adding all these features to it that we're going to probably see in the direct, but I would love for them to kind of say, okay, we're bringing back some comms features that really are going to take this like great system to the next level.
Yeah,
I'll be honest, I think they are okay just making a Switch that's just a slight improvement in selling it.
I also think that, yeah.
I think an improvement in terms of like a PS4 to a PS5 improvement, where it's like, okay, like the graphics updated, the Joy-Cons are not as broken anymore. You have a couple new like C buttons and whatnot to make it like a little new and fresh. But other than that, I think it's more like, I don't think they're gonna like reinvent the wheel. I think they like struck gold and they're gonna just like try to make it better.
I mean, really, in this day and age, think about it. If they struck gold, they are still like, I know the Stream Deck is great. I think Nintendo's still kind of leading the console war. Like, even with what they have, just strictly because of first party, you can even make that argument. I'm not saying that the Switch is better than the Steam Deck, but I do think they're winning the console war. And I think on top of that, you know, they don't need to innovate anymore. Also, what do you innovate? Like, motion controls are the thing of the past. 3D is a thing of the past. 2 screens apparently is a thing of the past. Which I think it would be very hard to do like a mobile Switch with 2 screens, which I don't know, maybe according to some of those rumors that might be a thing. But like
TV on top of whatever it was.
Yeah, but like let's think about it. What else do you need in a console? And Nintendo's thing has always been handheld first. So I'm just curious, do you guys have any like ideas that could be like the next big gimmick? Because I don't know what you do without losing what works with the Switch, which is the portability and the fact that it's a home console. So whatever you add needs to be an addition, not a whole new thing. And that's why I think, by the way, last thing, I think that's why this is called the Switch 2. and it's not called something else. I think the Switch is just going to be their console, like the Xbox 360, the Xbox One, whatever naming convention. I think that's what it is moving forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, or well, actually, I was gonna say a better example, Nicole, is PlayStation, because Xbox.
Oh yeah,
jumps all around
PlayStation.
from
Yeah.
1, 360 series. PlayStation's like 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, they make it very easy, and I think, like you said, and you made a great point earlier in the podcast. You were like, the Wii U confused people in terms of how it was marketed, what it really was, and like this cannot be any more clear that it's a Switch. It's the next iteration of Switch. It's a more powerful Switch. It'll have new things, new games. You can play old Switch games on it. This is a new system for you. And I think, and this will be another talking point when we get into like the games and other predictions for the Direct, but like, that's why more people are going to buy in. Not only to have it, they already, and the rumors are out that they've already shipped a lot of units over because they're predicting a big launch. I'm getting hyped, by the way.
I'm so hyped.
People are, the rumors are that this is going to be an even bigger launch than we're expecting. So they believe people are all bought in and it's going to do really well with the launch. And on top of that, that goes also into third parties. I have some pretty wild third party predictions as well.
Oh, I can't wait, Ryan.
I think it's going to take GTA. Well, it wouldn't surprise me. But like, I think that it took third party developers time to buy into the Switch because they after the Wii U, they're like, we need to see how this goes first.
I agree.
They're like,
I agree.
Now everyone's rushing to get their game onto Switch.
Yeah.
So Switch 2.
Yeah. No, I think yeah, just to add, I mean, they found something that works. It's a winning formula. I think Nintendo, they love being the innovator, but with being the innovator, you're gonna have bigger failures. Like realistically, like the PlayStation, everything has been an improvement on it, but they took no chances, like serious chances. I don't mean, oh, well, they changed the style of the Pro Controller. I mean, going to 3D, to motion controls, then going all in when you had two different lines of products, combining them all into one. I mean, Nintendo's a risk taker, but I think they've kind of gotten to that point where they are an industry leader now, you know? They're not just the quirky, like, family fun, you know, oh, hey, buy your kid a Nintendo so they can play Pokemon and Mario. They're actually an industry leader now, and I think, you know, other companies are looking to them versus them kind of being off and doing their own thing. Because for the longest time, it was Sony and Microsoft just being like, which one could have better specs? And at the end of the day, they run exactly the same. And then Nintendo's like, well, let's try 3D. It's like,
a little less powerful, but you can see things better.
Yeah, and like, you don't need glasses.
I will make a point here where, to the point of them being like having to innovate or how they usually innovate, I would even argue that they're still the most innovative console out there. So there's nothing to like one up or change or prove, right? It's like, oh, what system's like a hybrid? Steam Deck's the closest thing. It's like, okay, well, $500 to play games I don't care about, or play my Mario game that's going to be like $400, whatever the price is.
Yeah.
Like you still have something on the cheaper end that's going to be fill your needs, because I assume the people that have this conversation are mostly the Pokemon, Mario, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
Comes at a great time. There's no competition anywhere in sight for this release, you know? People have the Switch for enough time. They already know they love it or they don't want it, and so on and so forth. Some people are probably just waiting for the Switch too and didn't even get a Switch in the first place, which is hard to believe, but probably. So it's like it comes at such a perfect time for everything. Like you could argue, oh, it's not holiday season, so my grandma can't get it for me. But but hey, you're on summer vacation coming up, little kids.
Yeah.
You're gonna get distracted by your parent giving you a Switch too.
That's the second best time to launch it, right? Is if you can't launch it for the holiday season, launch it for summer. People are traveling. This is a mobile console. They want you to bring this places.
And that's what I mean, where it's like, okay, like, yeah, they're not adding a third screen or making you directly go into your games through a headset or anything, but it's like, okay, like, who else is gonna be like the mobile, right? Again, Steam Deck, but it's like, if I'm a parent, I'm gonna pick the family-friendly handheld game rather than Steam, where they could download whatever they want there.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Just for the sake of time, I want to keep moving on. Do you guys have anything else you want to add?
That's it.
Good.
Okay, we kind of already touched on like the mouse and the new Joy-Cons and the connection features. I don't really know what else there really is to say about it, so I'm just gonna skip that section.
Yeah, that's fine.
Let's talk about some of the rumors. So, one of the ones that I thought was actually kind of interesting was on the Switch itself, on the screen part of the unit, there's a USB-C port at the top and a USB-C port at the bottom. Now, some people were suggesting maybe it's because, you know, if you want to use your Switch in a dock, like I have a have an example here, right? Like you have your Switch in a dock. Obviously, you need the USB-C at the bottom. But then when it's at the bottom, or I'm sorry, what was I gonna say? What was I gonna say? Yeah, no, there's an issue I run into sometimes. I don't remember. Well, other things anyway. So it's like then you're limited to only being able to use and charge from the bottom, versus like I guess I don't know, maybe why would you want to plug it in from the top actually? What was I trying to say?
The screen on top or something?
Well, yeah, the screen on top too. Oh, sorry.
But I think there's also like when you like play it in bed or something, or like I feel like there's like some way you're sitting or some way you're playing where it's more of a hindrance to have it like underneath where like the top makes.
You know what I remember? No, sorry. Now it's coming back to me. If you're wanting to use a controller that's plugged in, you can't charge it at the same time and use a plugged-in controller, like a pro controller.
Yes.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
So it's niche, but it does come up, especially if you're playing like Pokemon competitions. So what they're doing is they're actually putting another USB-C on top. So you have one on top and one on bottom. And people are talking about that maybe what you could actually do is you could actually swap the Switch upside down or whatever you want to do, that the Joy-Cons can magnetically attach to either side. And I'm like, this is all cool, but like, I don't know how necessary it is. And then somebody came up with the idea that like you could actually connect a second screen to it, and maybe that's how you get the DS what's the word I'm looking for? DS like software, I guess, the virtual console. I don't know how realistic I think that is, to be honest with you, because I think the problem with the DS isn't the two screens. People emulate that. I think the issue is the touch screen. I know the Switch one has a touchscreen, but like, have you guys used it? It's like not great.
Yeah, it's a thing that's there.
It's just for like navigating menus and typing in. It's not for like pinpoint accuracy. So I don't know. I don't know if I even really like that. I don't know. What do you guys think?
So I will say I don't think they would put a port there for no reason.
Yeah,
I think that's the most clear thing. I think I'm no engineer. I don't know. But I don't think you waste the space, even like considering like the insides of it, to make a port on top and be like, oh, that got there on accident. Whoops. All right, let's leave it. You know, it might just be future proofing. Like, it could easily be that. Like, oh, they have a plan 5 years down the line. If it happens, it happens. But I feel like the Switch is so like compact enough, even the Switch 2 from what we saw, where I don't think they would waste space putting something at the top that doesn't need to be there. So it could easily be like flexibility of plug-in wires, like that could be it. It could easily be something silly, like, oh, a port broke, now you have an extra port. Like, I doubt that's it, but I'm just making examples. Yeah,
and I think the fact that it's one on each side, and the fact that the magnetic Joy-Cons, actually, you can put it on either side. It doesn't have to be in a specific direction like the regular Switch one. They're definitely up to something. And also the other thing, too, with the USB on the top and on the bottom is, like I said, if one's in a dock, the other one you can charge out of it. You can connect a controller. You can also connect maybe certain USB headsets as well, or you can connect a USB mouse. Just saying. Now, I don't know why you would do that, but I mean, I guess you could.
I do think they have a specific idea. It's just a matter of if they'll like give us examples in the future or give us examples like soon. I don't know, but I would imagine there's some plan for it.
Yeah, I think it could be cool. And then the other big rumor that actually just recently started going around was that there's AI processing for upscaling resolutions. So Ryan just sent a link earlier today that apparently in the Xenoblade X menus, or not in the menus, I'm sorry, like in the code or something, there's actually a toggle for 60 FPS. I believe Xenoblade X is locked to 30 FPS currently.
It's locked to 30. I mean, and we'll talk about this in a couple weeks when we share our actual thoughts on the game when we play it. But it sounds like it's a smooth locked 30, which is good. But yes, there's an option where they found that you could toggle 60, but it does not connect or does not work. Which, again, A, could mean that it was tried out and it just didn't work out, and it was left in the code. Or B, it might be used for, you know, like Nicole just said, AI processing, and it could really mean like, and we'll see this in the direct. Maybe a lot of games are going to run and look so much better because of the Switch 2's power, and these games can run at 60. I mean, I feel like one of the rumors we heard, like you said, like back last year when we were in the 9-month, rumor mill, was one of the games they're going to show off in the direct is like a 60 FPS version of Breath of the Wild that runs like crisp and super smooth. So that would not surprise me if that rumor's true.
Yeah, and one other thing too, I'm pretty sure that just recently Nintendo patented some sort of AI processing upscaling feature. Yeah. So
yes.
It's starting to look like what Switch 2 is going to do is actually play Switch 1 games better. In which case I'm starting to like ramp up, like I got to figure out which games I'm moving over. Obviously Pokemon, so I can go from 22 frames to 23 frames. But no, for real, like I think that's pretty exciting. And I also think that that's how they're going to sell the Switch 2, right? Is like, look at this new Metroid game that is coming out. It's locked to 30 FPS on Switch 1, but you can play it at 60 FPS on Switch 2. And because there are going to be people, and I will tell you this really quick, I have personally spoken to a few people that are diehard Nintendo fans. Like, they love Nintendo games, that told me they have no reason to upgrade to the Switch 2. And I was like, well, why? I'm just curious. Well, until my Switch 1 doesn't play any games that I want to play, why do I need to upgrade? So Nintendo has a choice. Do I force people to upgrade, or do I just like convince them to? You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. I feel like they'll have that overlap period. Be like, oh, like I guess Metroid's a good example. Like, yeah, Metroid for like 30 frames on Switch 1, or play it its best quality on Switch 2 at 60 frames. Like, that would get a lot of people over, I feel. But
I
for the
agree.
stragglers, I think a year down the road, you'd be like, all right, well, new Zelda game's only for the Switch 2. Sorry.
Oh, that's what 100% that's what I guarantee you the new Mario game is going to be a Switch 2 exclusive.
Yes, I think so too.
I also think Gen 10 Pokemon as well.
Yes, I agree.
Even though I think it's been confirmed that Legends is on the Switch systems family. So that I think is just going to be, I think that's also going to be an example of a 60 FPS lock.
Yeah. Well, in terms of marketing, because obviously, you can't false advertise. Like when they announced this Legends ZA at this time, basically last year, they announced it for Switch. So no matter what's coming to Switch, but like we're saying, I guarantee you a better version of ZA will run on Switch 2. And I think even some rumors have from some of these leakers have said there's a more powerful in the code in the Terra leak. There is a more powerful Switch 2 version of ZA, because that even the footage that we saw in the Pokemon Presents, like that was for Switch. So they're not going to lie and tell us that was Switch 2 footage. Yeah. But I guarantee you it's going to run better on Switch 2 for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I totally agree with you, and I think that I heard somewhere, I don't know who I was talking to. I think it was that same guy who said he wasn't going to upgrade to the Switch 2 yet. He told me that games like Pokemon Scarlet and Violet are played on a PC emulator and actually run really well.
I'm not shocked by that.
I'm not shocked. I don't know how much I believe it, because part of me wants to yell at Game Freak, but part of me is also like, this system is really old and was kind of underpowered even when it came out. So it's like 7 years of being a system that already wasn't a top of the line system. I mean, you guys know how often you have to upgrade your computers. I mean, my computer's 5 years old. It's a $2,500 computer that I bought top of the line stuff, and it's starting to show its age, right?
Yeah. And again, we've had this conversation before, and again, and luckily once we get to Switch 2, hopefully we can put a lot of this discussion to bed. I'm not gonna, retread it again, but it's like, yes, again, we understand that Pokemon has to follow a certain schedule. They don't have as much time as other developers do, and that's unfortunate. But like, again, we talked about this last week in our last podcast. Like, Scarlet Violet is a great game, but no excuse for it to run the way it did. Again, we just talked about Xenoblade. How good does Xenoblade X look on the Switch? And not only that, Monolith Soft are like freaking wizards, because they also made it less gigabytes than on the Wii U as well. I think the Wii U had how many gigabytes was it on Wii U? It was like 26 or whatever, and this is like 15 or whatever it is. Like they shrunk the gigabytes. It runs better. It looks 3 times as great as Pokemon. So I completely, even if Nicole's friend is correct that like you can emulate it on PC and it runs better, like you said, it wouldn't fully surprise me. But like, again, Game Freak, I know they have a limited schedule, and thankfully ZA has like more time to be put into it, but I mean, with Switch 2, they really have to be running out of excuses at this point.
I feel like they just need another team too. I really don't want to get into this, but I don't think Game Freak are good developers in terms of like graphics, putting a game together.
They're not. Story. They're not. Dude, you guys know, the story about like Red and Blue, right? Like the fact that they couldn't fit the game on the cartridge, and like Iwata had to come in.
Yeah, they clean up their mess.
Yeah, so it's like they're not, and that's okay, but leave them to the creative stuff, and then like get actual developers in there.
Yes, like the Pokemon designs are great. That's all good, but to backtrack to the actual topic, I don't think the Switch 2 is gonna fix it. I think they just don't know how to put it on a console, to be honest. And I think that, I don't know about the emulator. I don't know if that's true. Let's just say it is. Like, I think it's just like, okay, good. It takes a full PC to run a Switch game.
Yeah, like
I think that just sort of proves the point a little more, to be honest. But
no, it does, because the thing is, other developers were able to make it work. So why wasn't Game Freak able to make it work? But again, I could rant about this for hours.
Yeah, I know.
And I don't want it's my fault I brought it up, but like, you know me, I'm the Pokemon one here.
Started.
No, you're fine.
Okay, so how do you guys want to do this bingo board? Do you want to do it just games, or do you want to do it like announcements in general, like a communications feature, a dual screen?
Yeah, I mean, Ryan could put into. I think anything that's like an announcement, like
okay, cool.
Showing off a new game, a new feature. Reggie's back, like we could put that too.
Yeah.
Reggie's back. Oh, I love that. Okay, yeah. Let me just set up my screen so that I could actually share this. So give me 1 second.
And while Nicole's setting that up, I'll agree with Mike that I think it's more, instead of having like, because obviously we'll have the free space, so there's 24 other spaces. I think instead of having 24 different games, might be fun to have like a good amount of games, but then like a couple of like, oh, they announced like the communication feature, or they announced like this other feature. So that'd be pretty cool. And one more thing I'll say as we put this together, and you guys can let me know if you want to hear about this now or as we go through it. I actually did some research. Because you guys brought up a great point earlier about like what was available at launch, and does it have a good enough launch lineup? I went back and got what was the Switch 1 launch lineup.
Oh, okay.
As well as what was in the launch window, which basically was like the release to the end of the like fiscal quarter.
Okay.
And then I also went on Wikipedia and found some of their other big games that launched later in 2017. So
what do we got?
Okay, so while Nicole's getting her screen share set up, and I bring this up again because maybe that will let you think when we see these games and we put it on the bingo board, maybe you can also share, do you think this is like a launch title, or is it like a launch year, or is it like a tease like for way down the road? So with the game, so to Mike's point from earlier, they didn't launch with like a ton of big games for the Switch. I think
again, I know Zelda was there, but that was also for the Wii U, so I don't really count it that much.
Yeah.
So they launched with Zelda.
No, Ryan sees every time Ryan's like speaking the truth, Nintendo says the ninjas.
I'm just gonna point out from now on when we record, I'm gonna close the window so it's quieter.
Fine, right? No, it's
because I'm in the city, and these apartments, they get very hot if you don't have any airflow.
Yeah. Ryan, I'd rather hear the cops and you be okay. It's just funny.
Well, I didn't know that I lived in fucking Gotham City over here. It's like ridiculous. Like,
oh my god,
Joker and
the ninjas are after you because you know all the spice.
All right, Ryan, how are you, Ryan?
Yeah, as soon as I had all my info, Kimishima showed up and was just like,
Ryan.
So yeah, I'll close my window next time we record. Anyway, so the Switch, to Mike's point, launched with Zelda. Obviously, that was their big title. Snipper Clips was like their cooperative game. Then they had other small games like 1-2 Switch and Shovel Knight and Skylanders and Bomberman. Those were like the launch titles, which isn't that much. But then they were like, but don't worry, because more games are coming soon. Because from March to June, they then launched Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which obviously, as we know, is their best seller. ARMS. And Splatoon 2. So basically from March to June, like you had those few launch games, and you had a couple other big games in the first like few months. And then if you forgot to wrap up the year, they then had at the end of the year Mario Odyssey, obviously, and then they had Xenoblade 2.
Okay.
So for a launch year, I mean, again, it didn't have like Smash, it didn't have Animal Crossing, but they had like a decent launch year. So I'll be curious when we start discussing our bingo board, like what games do we think are at launch or like launch window, and then what's like more down the road.
But see, starting that launch, that's why I think other people were. It's like, okay, you just came off the Wii U, and it's like, okay, the really big put us back on the map console. It's like, okay, we have Zelda, which you get for the Wii U. We have all the other games, which honestly, although launch titles like wouldn't really sell a console, right? Like, I think I picked up Bomberman. Snipper Clips looked cool. But nothing really like was like, oh, get this console, like you need it, right?
Other than like Zelda on the Switch, yeah.
And like, yeah, like I wanted Zelda on the Switch, but like again, like if you really was hungry for Zelda, it was for the Wii U. Like running not as good, obviously, but
Yeah.
I agree.
And then what was it? Arms and Splatoon. It's like okay, like I played Splatoon 1, like I had my fill of Splatoon, and the Arms like didn't even sell that well. I don't think. I could be wrong.
I think Arms did. I think Arms did okay. I don't think it was great. Like it wasn't a Splatoon, but I think it did okay.
But see, like for me, again, I can really only go on my own experience, but like I didn't even pick up Arms, and I got the Switch. Like
yeah,
I did
neither did I.
2, I got Zelda, and then like games here and there. So it's sort of like not a dead console, but like a console that's just sitting there up until like December for Xenoblade and then Mario Odyssey.
Yeah.
But I hope Switch 2 like does better, which I think it will. I think
it will.
Yeah,
I'm very confident it will.
So let's dive into that. All right. So I have some notes pulled up, and then I also have the bingo board. So let's chat about not that. I guess I can't have the notes up over there. Sorry. I guess I'm gonna have to do it this way. All right. I was trying to make it so I didn't have to keep like looking over there for it, but my monitor, I got new monitors and they're huge, and it's a huge, yeah. Okay, so let's start with, we have to go in order. So you guys don't care where I put it on the bingo board, right? Okay. Oh, it will? Oh, I can, no, when I do it, I think it randomizes, because this is... Okay. Cool. Okay, so, Mike, you go first. What do you want to put on here? Mario Kart. Okay, we gotta get one. I mean, we all know this is coming. I'm gonna be honest with you. Mario Kart's one of those things where I always kind of enjoy it, although my enjoyment for the series has seriously gone downhill over the last like 10 years. But I'm gonna end up buying it. It's kind of the same with Smash for me. It's like, it's a fun, if it's Double Dash, don't even get me started. Also, wait a minute, I gotta fix this. I can't see y'all. Hold on, wait, I gotta put you in here. All right, you guys discuss the next game while I set this up.
To announcement, which to me very clearly means it's going to be a launch title.
Yeah.
The fact that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is still the best-selling Switch game and it's a port of a 2013 Mario Kart game tells me they know this franchise of Mario Kart sells so good. They're going to launch it with the Switch too. I have no doubt that's a launch title. So other than our free space, other than the free space, we're going to get a guarantee check for Mario Kart as well, for sure.
Yep.
Okay,
So.
cool. Yeah, I agree with you. All right, cool. Yeah. All right, Ryan, you're up.
So I am actually gonna, you know what? Actually,
and hold on, just to be clear, I'm sorry, because I was like trying to figure this out. Are these like launch day titles, or are these just like titles that get announced as well? I think it's any announcement, right?
I think it's any announcement as long as it
announcement
happens on the direct.
Okay,
like
copy.
During the video.
Okay.
Yeah. So to Mike's point, I don't think this is gonna happen. Just not to like tip our hand. I don't think we would see Smash yet, but even if they go like Smash 6 like in development, I think that would count as like an announcement as well.
Okay, cool.
Along with any features we talk about. Okay, so the next one on our list actually is, I'll say, the next 3D Mario. I think that one is also a lock for the direct. I don't think it's a lock for launch. I think that might be a holiday title or like a fall title, kind of like with Odyssey, where they want to launch with some games but have some heavy hitters for the holidays.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look, it's been 8 years since Odyssey. I know they technically gave us that Bowser's Fury expansion back in like 2021, which was I think pretty well received, but it was like a $15 like not $15. It was like a small add-on. It wasn't that long, but it was like the last 3D Mario we've had. It's been a very long time.
Yeah.
And I think they want to capitalize on that success. Now, I say 3D Mario because I don't fully know if we'll get Odyssey 2. I could see it going in a whole new direction, like Sunshine to Galaxy to Odyssey. They might do something else. But I do think it'll be a 3D Mario shown with probably like a holiday release.
Cool. Are you guys just following the list that we have, or are you just saying whatever?
Oh, I was going through the list first.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say you guys.
It.
Okay, I was gonna say you guys could give your own opinions too. I mean, even though this kind of covers everything.
Yeah, we don't have to follow the list. You can say whatever you want for your turn. So
yeah. So my thought was actually Donkey Kong. So I know it's out of order,
cool.
but I feel like they're really setting up for a Donkey Kong. I'm not gonna lie.
2D or 3D.
Oh, you mean like a side scroller versus like a DK64?
So when you say Donkey Kong, you think we're gonna see another classic like side scroller, or you think they're gonna go back to like DK64 and like go back?
You know what? We gotta be a little more specific. We can't just say Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
We're gonna go DK64 port.
Ooh.
That's what we're gonna go with. That might be copium, but
64 port might be copium. Yeah.
That might be copium, but
I think it's probably a 3D game
or remake. Can I put remake in there? Port or remake?
Yeah.
Okay, actually, in which case I'm just gonna put DK64 then, actually, because it's too small if I do both. Okay. Here's the thing. That is a beloved game that has gotten zero attention since it came out. Like, obviously, it was popular back in the day, but like after that, it's been like kind of a cult classic. They've been teasing Donkey Kong. They gave Donkey Kong a whole new model to base it off of the the film franchise. Obviously, Donkey Kong's a favorite in that as well. Realistically, I think Donkey Kong is just gonna get a new game, but I'm gonna be a little spicy and just say DK64 for the fun.
Okay, it's a good one.
All right, wait, who was it first? Was it Mike first?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead, Mike.
Okay, going off the list as well. I think Monolith Soft's gonna announce their new game. Not Xenoblade. I think the new series is gonna be my extra guess.
So I'm just gonna put Monolith Soft in there.
Yep.
Okay.
So I'll get half points if it's Xenoblade, but I don't think it. I think the new game coming out, I can't imagine it's too much of their team to do it, even though it's like very impressive what they did. And they even have such quick turnarounds. Like, it's crazy how they do it. But
so you think new IP is what you're saying?
I think a new IP by them. Yeah.
Okay.
I think some of their team, if not most of them, was working on this. Just pure guessing. And I do think it's time for them to be like, hey, new Switch, like. Xenoblade is all on the Switch One. It's all there if you want to get any of it. Now with the new console, here's like the new thing.
So let me ask you, when did Xenoblade 3 come out? Also, you don't have to type this up because I'm gonna take a picture of the bingo board, so you don't worry about it.
Yeah, you got it.
2 years.
What, Xenoblade 3?
Yeah, you know off the top of your head, Brian. I assume you know this kind of stuff.
But before I cheat, I want to say it was. I remember. I'm gonna guess it was 2022.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Okay.
It's July 29, 2022. So it's been 3 years.
Wow.
Then I doubt they were just sitting around working on an HD port of
X.
Of X.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Let me do something really quick. You guys can keep talking. Yep.
You know, every game's on Switch now. 1, 2, and 3 for Xenoblade. They have X. Every game has DLC for it. They added new content. I think they've honestly kind of put a good bow on Xenoblade, and I think the trilogy, for those that have played the trilogy and the DLC, it kind of like tied the series together, and I think that arc is done. Now, could we see like a spin-off Xenoblade 4 in the future? Yeah, but I think I'm more inclined to agree with you, Mike, that it's a new IP, because I even remember like concept art teased like 3-4 years ago of like a female like knight and like a dragon. So they were working on some IP in the past, so I could see them launching something new.
Yeah, and again, like I don't think this is gonna be like a long time. It's either more like a teaser for like next year maybe, or like be like, oh, we have this like in the works and see more next time or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I think it's definitely more of an announcement rather than like, hey, the game's launching.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I fully agree with you. Wait, hold on. Can you guys hear me if I lower this? Am I quiet?
You're quieter, but we can still hear you.
Okay, sorry, I was just trying to fix something. Okay. All right, yeah, I could totally see that. And also, I'm pretty sure that Monolith Soft was like recently like hiring a lot of people too.
Yeah, I thought so too. Like they're sort of set up for it. But who knows? It probably is too early, but that's my guess.
Yeah, really quick before we get into the next one. Lunch Tray said, I hope the Switch 2 lets me connect my mouse and keyboard to it. We were actually talking about this before. I do think that that's a very very possible thing. I don't know why we would need to, but I hope Nintendo gives us a reason to. You know, like I hope we get some of those like social features added. Ryan, what do you want to add next?
I'm gonna add Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, so you can call that Metroid.
That's
Prime
the free
4.
space.
No. If any game on here is a free space, it's Mario Kart. But no, Prime 4. I say that because that was their big game. So we haven't had a Nintendo Direct actually, like a proper Direct, since June of last year. Because I think we had some like minor directs or like mini announcements in the last like 9 months. Their last game they showed was Prime 4 Beyond, and the latest rumors are that this guy that they always say that they're insiders, is like it's gonna like 90% be there, and this is gonna blow you away. Like this is like the next like Breath of the Wild, where like you are not gonna expect like no one expects Breath of the Wild to be like you can just like go do whatever you want, climb whatever you want, like just crazy. I'm not saying we're gonna like go full like Samus and Star Fox where she can like fly throughout space, but
so
like
cool.
which would be very cool. But like people are like, this game, like, you're not ready. Like the teaser do not even show what this game is capable of. So I think Prime 4 will be here, and I'll go crazy here. You know what? Even though I think it could be a holiday title, I think it could maybe be the launch or launch window.
So I just want to say this. From the moment they announced Prime 4, I'm sorry, let me back up. From the moment they announced the delay of Metroid Prime 4, I said that this was going to be a launch title. You can quote me on that. I am like 90% sure that they're going to market this and be like, hey guys, it kind of runs like ass on the Switch 1. That's why you should get the Switch 2 for Metroid. And
I do think it should be the Zelda situation. Yeah,
because the thing is, Metroid doesn't carry the same weight as Zelda and Mario and Pokemon. I get that. But I think that IP has grown so much over the last few years. This has been such a sought after title. They would be really stupid to like not use it to market, especially because listen, Mario Kart's great and all, but like I don't know how many people are gonna buy a new system specifically for a new Mario Kart when Deluxe was one of the best selling things ever, right? We know a 3D Mario is not coming on launch. I don't think Donkey Kong is actually as strong as Metroid. So that's why I really feel like there's a very strong possibility that it's a launch title, or then it'll just be the holiday for the first year. But it's definitely coming out this year. Let's put it that way, 100%. I know they announced it, but even if they didn't announce it, I would have said that anyway.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Okay, cool. So I'm actually going to skip a little bit on our list here. I think a new Animal Crossing is coming.
Wow.
Although I'm actually not super excited about it. I know. I wanted to talk to you guys. I don't know if I would buy it.
It's not for everybody. All jokes aside, it is not for everybody.
I've played every single Animal Crossing game, and I loved Wild World more than anything. It's still one of my favorite games of all time. The appeal to it has been lost. I don't know if it's because I've gotten older. I don't know if it's just because it kind of feels like the same thing over and over, or like if I want to play like some sort of like simulator, I think I'd just go play Harvest Moon. The one thing that could bring me back though is like I really think they need to overhaul the IP a little bit. Let me have a shop that other people can come visit and buy things from to make money that way, instead of having to constantly put 1,000 fruit in my town and fish up fish and stuff. Let me sell, like, let me make cosmetics. Like, okay, the whole thing about this last game is that you could build stuff, right? Why can't I make a pattern and sell the pattern, or make a chair and sell that chair in my own shop?
Yeah.
And then you can have other people, either your friends or random people, come in and buy stuff from you. I mean, I feel like that fits the theme so well, right?
Yeah.
Am I going crazy? Like, how do you guys feel about the IP?
I think I love it. I could go on. I don't want to spend too much time on it. I could spend the whole
That's fair,
podcast on it. I think they're stuck between the line of like, we just want this to be a game. People log in, do their thing, log off, and come check daily, right? Like that sort of the thing. Like make it casual, but like you do things and have a good time, enjoy the villagers. But my big point I'm going to make now is I very curious how close they were looking at it during the pandemic of what people were doing with the game.
Yeah.
Because it basically became a giant business, like slave trading and turnip trading. And,
Wait, is it really that bad?
oh yeah, so bad.
Oh no,
It was
Mike.
awful. Oh my god, I didn't participate. Literally, I'm like, I grew up with Animal Crossing, yada yada yada, and then I see people selling like, oh, I'm selling cookie online, costs like 5 billion bells, and I'll give you.
Are you
cookies.
kidding me?
Yeah, legit.
Like you're
wait,
selling the villagers. Oh, selling the villagers.
Wait, did you not know about this?
Maybe they did and I forgot. Dude, my brain has been gone since COVID.
Oh, there was legit Animal Crossing trafficking happening. No, Nicole, there was, like Mike said, there were threads and there were rankings on who the most popular villager was. Like I remember Mike, Raymond the cat was like the most popular one.
Oh no!
Was like the most popular one like for a long time.
Yeah,
That's crazy. All right. Well, I feel like we could see something from it because it's been 5 years and that was kind of a huge launch for Switch. It came out in 2020. It kind of came out at the perfect time, and I think it was a perfect storm of COVID. Everybody's home. Let's just play something zen. And to be fair, for the 2 weeks that I played it, I played the shit out of it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe I just went a little too hard. Like I remember I'd be up with Grizz until like 4 a.m. And we just like farm out islands together, and then I would get the tarantula one and I'd scream, wake up my roommate. But I had fun with it.
To build on your point, I do think they learned enough where I'm hoping it'd be different, where they would very much expand on what was there. Because there's a lot of things missing. Like you can only upgrade the shop once, and it took forever for Brewster, like the coffee, to come. And updates here and there fix it, but there was so much more they can do with it, and I feel like with the Switch 2 being more powerful, plus everything they should have learned, then it could really go places. So hopefully, you're right, it shows up on the Direct, and it changes everyone's mind, and it's just pure fun.
Yeah. All right, Mike, pick the next game.
All right. I am gonna go with. All right, I gotta bring my boy in here. It's gonna be Professor Layton. They're showing
Professor Layton.
Where he's supposed
to. Let's go.
The thing is, okay, I've been thinking about him lately. As they do. I like Wolverine with that picture of Professor Layton waiting for the next game.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be a Switch game? Like they already confirmed.
Okay.
For the Switch. So I fully believe he'll show up in like a mini montage and be like, "There's still great games coming for the Switch," and you show Professor Layton there, like whatever. But I do think he'll show up in some form. That's the Professor for you. He's wily. I
love that. I can't really comment too much on that, other than Phoenix Wright is better. But that's a separate. I'm just kidding.
They teamed up. It was great.
That does sound actually like a fun game. All right, Ryan, you're up next.
So I'm gonna say a new Nintendo IP. Because they've done this now. They've done this now for the last two systems. The Wii U came out and they were like, oh, here's a brand new IP. It's called Splatoon, where it's a shooter, but it's a team-based shooter, and you can spray ink, and it obviously that took off like a storm. And I think Nintendo would consider Splatoon in their top 4 franchises. I mean, yes, Pokemon, that's Game Freak, so I think Nintendo would consider Mario, Zelda, Splatoon, and Animal Crossing as like their 4 main heavy hitters, I would say.
Yeah.
So they did that. Then for the Switch, they tried ARMS. Now, ARMS obviously did not sell as well, but I think it was a brand new concept. I give them credit for going like, say, we're going to try something completely brand new. So I predict with the Switch 2, we will see a new IP. And the other reason why I think that is because if you guys remember, like many months ago, remember Nintendo was like, hey, you can opt in to a network test.
Yes.
And it's like NDA, like it's network test, don't share it. And what happened immediately? People started sharing it. And there was a whole thing. And this might get into
right.
And this might get into another box about like them showing the connectivity feature. But I remember when they eventually, like as soon as like the network test went live, people started sharing it immediately. It was like a type of game where you were like in like a giant, like kind of like the dome in Indigo Disc, where like you were in a giant dome, but you were collecting resources and kind of like building out your planet. So
I remember.
Maybe that's like a tease of like an upcoming like new IP, because I think the last two
I would love that.
I think they're trying to expand their IPs as well. So
I would love that. I think it's time for Nintendo to have a new IP. I mean, Splatoon's great, but okay, Splatoon 3 is the best Splatoon there is. They've iterated on it and improved it every time. But even then, it's like it's the same shit. So
yeah, like I don't know if I would get a fourth one.
I was just talking to Ryan about this, Mike, because we played Splatoon a little bit on a stream the other day, and we were like, sure, we're having fun, but the thing is, after the first 2 weeks, we don't play it anymore. People get too good, gets too sweaty, and then it's just like not fun.
Yeah,
so
like I know we're busy, but like I know Nicole brought up a great point about like if and when we would buy a new Animal Crossing, they would really need to sell us on it. I'm still more likely to buy a new Animal Crossing than a new Splatoon.
I actually agree with you. Only for the social aspect, actually. Like I feel like exactly. I'd much rather spend a night playing on Animal Crossing chilling than spending a night playing Splatoon. Although I do like Splatoon, it's just Animal Crossing to me is a little bit better. Do you want to just add on here Splatoon as an extra one as well? Like, do we think a Splatoon 4 is coming?
I don't know. I don't think I'd put it though. Not me personally. I mean, it could be there, but I think they would like let it rest a little bit. Splatoon. I thought the Splatoon team works on something else too. I forgot what it was though.
Do they also do ARMS?
Was that it?
I don't know. Going back to the Animal Crossing thing, I feel like the last game that came out is like the quote unquote perfect Animal Crossing, and the fact that I wasn't obsessed with it. Like I was obsessed with it for a very short period of time, and then it just became too much like of the same thing. I don't know if that's a consequence of me just going really ham in games, or if that's just me being bored of the Animal Crossing formula. Because it's crazy that like the GameCube version I played the shit out of. Wild World's probably my number one most played one. Then by the time City Folk came around, I'm like, eh.
Yeah, City Folk was
New Leaf was better, but I was still like, eh. I don't know.
I think the biggest thing, I mean, it's all about perspective, and diehard Splatoon fans can disagree with me here, and that's fair. But I feel like there's enough difference in Animal Crossing for me personally to get each one, because it's like, okay, like they usually switch up how you go about the town. Like, obviously the New Horizons was like the biggest one where you could just edit the entire town yourself. But even just talking like, oh, the villages you could find, the items you get, the way you customize the house, the way you customize your character, like it's all different. Whereas Splatoon, I feel like I am just playing an upgraded version of the same game.
Yeah, I agree. Can I just ask, do you guys like the terramorphing and like the construction stuff enough in Animal Crossing to want to see that exact same system with improvements and with new recipes, of course, but that system being kind of like the backbone of Animal Crossing moving forward?
I think it's a great point. I almost feel like how can they go back? I mean, you've introduced the mechanic now where, yes, I mean, you were on an island in this game, and maybe if you're like in a city or town, you can't do it as much. But like the fact that you can literally make your island however you want, I don't see how they can go back on it. Yes, I agree with you. They can't just release the same thing again. They would need to, like you said, Nicole, with your shopping example, have a new functionality or communication feature to really make it brand new and fresh. But I feel like when you start up Animal Crossing, 6 at this point, they got to like start off by saying like, oh yeah, you can kind of like shape your bridges and your rivers however you want. Because I feel like how can you go back from that freedom?
Yeah. No, you're right.
I don't know if it'd be the backbone again, but I agree completely with Brian where you can't really give it up because it's sort of like, hey, here's the ultimate creation tool for your personal island, and be like, that was fun, now it's gone. I think you'd have to innovate on it, be like, okay, you could customize your island, and maybe now in this game there's like a main street where you build up towns, like fun the towns and stuff.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. Like,
that truck is really excited for Mike's idea.
I'm glad someone is. But yeah, I think it'd be hard to give up, and it's hard because it's a series that like if you're gonna make a new one, you gotta keep just going forward, not backwards.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hope they do more with the farming part of it. That was a cool thing they added.
Yeah, I just hope they don't. The thing is, it's like I don't think they're ever going to be better than a Harvest Moon or like a Stardew Valley in terms of like the farming mechanics. And I like the fact that it's an actual real life day versus, I could sit in Harvest Moon and play for like 6 hours and go through like half a year, right?
Yes.
Again, I just feel like Animal Crossing has grown so much from what it once was. Where you could log on and play for 20 minutes and kind of get your dailies done. Now you could play for 6 hours a day and still, have new things to build, which is cool. I wonder if that's why people burn out faster or like people like myself, I should say, burn out faster.
Yeah, I mean, a big thing was like the time travel part of it. I
hate the time travel,
but people be like, "Oh, I did everything," and like it's like you're supposed to only play in burst.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing they need to overcome, not even including time travel, is they just need to make it more of a reason to log in each day. Like after like a couple weeks, you do feel like, oh, I'm just doing my dailies, getting my fish, like doing this and that,
Yeah.
doing the event, and then logging off. But it drags after a while. Like if they want this to be a game that people keep coming back to, then each new interesting thing daily needs to happen and stuff to log in, other than like events and whatnot.
I
That's my
wonder.
personal take, but
No, you're right. I like that. And the last thing I want to add on to that too, piggybacking off of that, is I think Nintendo companies in a general sense have already started doing this. I think has to start doing this as well. They have to start considering that a lot of free advertisement comes from people playing on Twitch. You need to start giving people tools to play with a community in an easier way. It's exactly what I've been begging Game Freak to do with Pokemon, and they have improved they have improved in their defense, but they could do so much more. I want to be able to create a tournament, for example, within Pokemon, and be able to moderate it a little bit better, or spectate matches. I don't know what the equivalent is for Animal Crossing, but I feel like they have to start designing some of these games with a little bit of that. Not every game, like Metroid Prime 4, right?
yeah.
What are you going to do with that? But I feel like the social games, you need to find a way to do that.
Well, I mean, again, not to stay too long on Animal Crossing specifically, but the biggest thing is it was awful. Where it's like, okay, you get 8 people on your island, amazing, but each person would have to come in at a time to your island.
So bad.
I forgot.
That was bad.
That killed a lot of the hype for me.
I remember the exact scenario, but I'm not going to mention any specific names for.
That's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
But we were celebrating someone's birthday, and it was like a surprise birthday, and we were getting every person on the island.
I remember this.
Before the birthday began, and then like towards the end, like the 7th person came on, and then we disconnected, and we had to start all over again.
They need to actually that's Nintendo's biggest fault. They need to bring their multiplayer and their social features back into 2025, when I feel like there was actually a small portion of time where they were ahead of everybody. They have now fallen behind.
Yeah, they are definitely behind on that in like every aspect, and it shouldn't be that hard nowadays. Again,
totally
like,
agree.
Just Split Fiction, for example, you can play on any game. It's so easy to queue up and just give a code to each other. You're
so easy. Sorry, I am gonna move on from Animal Crossing. Ryan, hopefully you didn't have anything to add to that.
You're good. No, you're good.
Okay, cool. So Ryan, you picked the next one, right? Or did you say?
I just went, so you're up.
Oh, okay. Oh God. Bayonetta 4. I'm just kidding.
If you say, you probably would bring it into reality.
I don't think I haven't even beaten 3, and I was like Bayonetta 3's biggest champion. I don't know. Because I feel like now we're getting into the territory of like, this is a stretch, but like it could happen. Because I actually feel pretty confident about. Because the thing is, like, I feel pretty confident about everything that we've said, except maybe TK64. Now at this point, it's like, who knows? I think we're gonna get another remaster soon, like a big remaster. You know what? We're gonna go all out. I don't think you guys are ready for this.
Okay. Pokemon Snap 3.
XD Coliseum.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
was hesitant to put any Pokemon on here, to be honest.
I know.
keep it.
I
It's
know.
your guess.
But the thing is like, I don't know what else to guess, and we need to fill up some spots. So this
No,
is a little
fair.
bit of a hot
Honestly,
take, but
if it gets announced, I'm impressed. Let's say that.
I don't think it's actually because I think actually maybe I should just remove it, because I'm pretty sure I did some research on it, and the reason why we haven't seen it again is because of some legality issues. So actually I actually don't think that's gonna happen. So maybe I'll just remove it. How about this? How about we do oh my god, I've been saying it, Champion Virtual Console, or GameCube Virtual Console, because I've been saying that there's no reason for GameCube to not be on here, when especially when the Switch launched. Do you guys remember that they said we're bringing Melee to Switch, and everybody was excited about it, and then it never happened? We're like, there's no reason to not have GameCube Virtual Console. So
yep, that's a good one.
All right, Mike, you're up.
All right, I want to say in some way, shape, or form, but directly tied to the Nintendo Switch 2, I think there's going to be some kind of mobile counterpart.
Mobile counterpart? Okay.
Like mobile app,
just put mobile app.
Yeah, put mobile app.
Yeah.
So to be clear, you don't mean like we're getting a new TCG news for the
No,
app.
no,
You
nothing
mean a
like
whole
that.
new?
Like it'll be some kind of either like a social feature, or you can check your notifications. Like maybe like a companion app, probably a little
Okay.
better.
Okay.
But yeah, that's my guess.
I like that. I don't really have anything to add.
Into mobile stuff lately.
They have been, which is why I'm a little nervous about Champions. But that we kind of talked about that. All right, Ryan, you're up.
I'll go with an easy one since we're kind of now veering off from like the first party games. Now we're kind of exploring different like other features and like aspects. Although I'm saving some big heavy hitters for the last row. I'll just say the C button. And you can call that like comms or chat or whatever. But I think we're definitely gonna know what that new button is. I think they're ready to make this a big part of this presentation because yes, they're gonna show the mouse part again. Probably they're gonna show like the new Joy-Con clicking again. But if you look at like the artwork, or not the artwork, if you look at like the official advertisement for Switch 2, they have the C button there, but they deliberately removed the C. It's just a blank square.
Interesting.
So now maybe that's them saying like, hey, y'all saw the leaks, but we're not ready to talk about it yet.
Yeah.
But if you look at where on the leaks the C button was on the right Joy-Con, the C is, if you take a look at the official advert, it's no longer there. It's just a square.
Interesting.
So either the C button was incorrect or it was real and they're like, we're not going to talk about it yet. We're going to reveal it like once we're ready.
So my only take on that is I don't know if they legally can edit the image. I know it's a render. No, because hear me out. I know it's a render and it's not an official announcement, but I just wonder if legally, if there's an implication. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer, but I also feel like let's just say we saw this in the leaks, right? And it's true. What harm is there for them to leave the C button? Like, doesn't that just create more hype? Like that creates more buzz of people saying, "Did you guys see that button with the C on it?" I wonder if it's just
already saying.
Yeah, you know what I'm trying to say? See, the Nintendo ninjas are after Ryan because he knew. It's true.
It's every time. That's the best part.
Kimishima, forgive me.
All right, cool. So, I'm gonna go with what am I gonna go with? Okay, this one might be out there a little bit because I actually don't know how well it would sell, but I think it's something we can start to talk about. And I think it's gonna be a fighting game, as in like Street Fighter or Guilty Gear. So my thing is with those fighting games, you need to have a very powerful console because every frame matters.
Yeah.
So I don't know, Mike. You might know more about this than I do. Like, what FPS do those games play at? Like for tournament regulation.
I'm pretty sure 60.
So if the Switch 2 is as powerful as we think it is, and it can hit that consistent 60, think about how cool it would be to have a mobile fighting station.
Yeah.
And then you have the C port on top that you can put your sticks in.
Like it's funny because they had Mortal Kombat 1 for the Switch.
Yeah, but it didn't sell too well.
Well, it was like the worst port ever.
Yeah.
It ran so horrible. It looked terrible.
That's why I know this is a hot take.
Seriously, just like, we need more money. Let's put it there.
No, that's why I think this is a hot take. But I think in a bubble, if this is as powerful or more powerful between a PS4 and a PS5, PS4 runs these games fine. So I do think it's possible.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's a good guess.
All right, Mike, you're up.
Okay, I'm surprised this hasn't been revealed yet. I don't know if Ryan had it in the chamber for later. But I'm going to say a date reveal. We're going to get a date reveal.
Date reveal! Oh, that's so good. But yeah, we're definitely getting that.
Yeah.
That should have been the free space.
Yeah, that's the free space.
I don't have anything to comment on that, but I think yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, that one is going to be a given. So,
Ryan, you're up next.
All right. I do have some big ideas, but again, I want to say that for my last couple turns. Let's go. You know what? Let's go back to a franchise we haven't seen in a while. One that Mike is a bigger fan of than you and I, Nicole. Let's say. What'd you say, Mike?
Professor Layton.
You already said it. you don't get it twice. Let's say Fire Emblem.
Oh, that's a good one.
Now, Mike's a bigger fan than we are of the series. I know we do enjoy it. It's just not as much as Mike. I say this because I really think now it is a niche franchise. I will say, like, obviously it has like its fans, and their fans are very, very passionate about it. But it's obviously more niche than some other games. But it's still like Nintendo still likes Fire Emblem. They still do a lot. They have like the mobile app. They have They have like, you know, obviously Three Houses, and they had Engage. The series has been a little quiet for a while.
It has been.
Now, I think that's because they probably were waiting for Switch 2. Now, I don't know if the next game will be the next big Fire Emblem after Engage, or if they're going to be like, you know what? We did a remake of like Fire Emblem like 2 at one point on the 3DS, like Shadows of Valentia. Like maybe they'll remake like people were saying like genealogy of like the Holy War or like whatever the older games were. But I feel like for a franchise that's like niche yet still very vocal, I feel like it's been quiet for a while. Because when did Engage come out? Was Engage 2023?
Yeah, it was a bit ago now.
So it's like,
yeah.
I feel like we might, and now granted, that might not be like a release date. That might just be like a, hey, we're developing the next Fire Emblem. But I feel like it's been a little too quiet for that series.
Yeah, I will say, Ryan, I wouldn't underestimate Fire Emblem in terms of like how popular it is. Like Three Houses really, really blew up.
Three Houses is popular, yeah.
And like Engage didn't get that same engagement, haha. But I still think going off the hype of Three Houses, like it's still there. Like if they announced like Four Houses or whatever the sequel is,
Four Houses, yeah.
It would do really well. But I do think, like, I'd even say Fire Emblem is passing Metroid in terms of like the big three, but maybe that's going too far. But I do think it's up there. But that being said, I that is a really good guess.
Yeah.
I had one. Oh, now I remember what it is. All right, this one's out there. This one's out there. I don't know if you guys are ready, but didn't Sakurai say he was working on something?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, I know what she's gonna type. I know
Kid Icarus. Kid Icarus.
That's a good one.
I don't know. Okay, so this one I'm definitely not feeling super positive on, but I could see it happening. Like if it happened, I'd be like really happy and kind of shocked, but not that shocked. Yeah. They've been very quiet about it for a while. Sakurai's working on something. I don't think another Smash is coming out. Well, I shouldn't say that. I do think another Smash is coming out, but not now. I think Smash usually comes out like a year or two after a console's already out, and Ultimate's still doing pretty well. It's pretty healthy. My hot take about Ultimate, by the way, just because I don't think we're gonna put it on here, but yeah, I think they're gonna do what they did with Mario Kart and port Ultimate and add more DLCs. Should we just add that? Do you guys want to put that on here?
Yeah, just put Smash. I think that's fine. I think that's
I'm just gonna put Smash Ult port because I don't want to just do Smash. Because what if it's like a new Smash?
Yeah, that's fair. But I agree with you. I don't think there's any reason to redo Smash.
Yeah.
I think just porting it, having all the IPs and characters ready to go, and then adding more on top of that's just the smart thing to do.
Mike, you have any guesses?
Yeah, I still got a couple in me. Going off Kid Icarus, I'm gonna say Kirby. I don't know
Kirby.
what kind of Kirby.
Oh, okay, hold on. New or a port?
That's the question. I don't think it's gonna be like a big 3D one. I think it's still too soon from the
so I have a theory.
Okay.
Well, not really a theory, but it's based on a rumor.
Okay.
So I agree with Mike that even though Forgotten Land was well received, I do think we'll get a new big Kirby game at some point. I don't know if it's going to come yet, but apparently, I never played these because I would say like I'm not like a huge Kirby fan. Like I'll play some games, but I don't like I've played maybe like 3 or 4. The 3DS ones are pretty popular. You know, Triple Deluxe and Planet Robobot, especially Robobot, were very well received. I heard a rumor that Robobot port is coming.
Oh, okay. So let's put Robobot on there, just so that it's a little, because I don't want to make it too generic.
Yeah,
too
just
easy.
say like, oh, they say Kirby's name, and you get the point. Yeah, I agree.
Okay, is this back to me now?
Ryan.
Or Ryan? Oh wait, who's? Oh, that was it's Ryan's turn, right?
Oh yeah, it's just I forgot we did the port. Yeah, technically me. I'm gonna say a mouse game. So obviously they're going to show the mouse functionality that was a part of the trailer, and I have a fun thing that Nicole, I think you would enjoy just because of your artistic lens and whatnot. Now they showed the functionality of like the Joy-Con being moved as a mouse. They're going to show that. I'm kind of like cheating here, like with the C button. Like I think they're going to show the functionalities more in the direct.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to have some games where it's like, hey, you can literally, and maybe that goes back to Kid Icarus, but like you can like move around and you can point with the mouse. Like this is going to be a really big feature. And I'll say mouse game just to kind of like be all encompassing. But and I saw people talking about this like in terms of theories. What's a better mouse game than if you bring back Mario Paint?
Oh,
Kirby
Mario
Canvas
Paint
Curse.
So fun.
Oh.
So
Canvas Curse again.
So I think there will be a game. I think there will be a game that will use the functionality.
That's really smart.
Yeah,
and maybe
that's a good
that'll
one.
be Mario Paint, but I feel like they're going to have a game for the functionality.
I really like that a lot, actually.
Yeah, that's a fun one.
Mike, with mine, I really hope I'm not treading on your territory too much.
It's okay. What's my territory?
Sorry, I have to do it, Mike. I have to do it.
Say Zelda?
No, I think we're gonna get a 3D Sonic.
Oh, Sonic! I hope so.
But a good one, not like that
A
bad
good
one,
one.
Colors or whatever.
Yeah. Instead of Mario and Sonic,
Colors
at the
was
Olympic
fine.
Games.
Maybe what's the bad one that everybody hates?
06. Everybody hates 06.
Sonic 06, not like that.
No, they're done with those 6. We're not getting that anymore.
I don't have anything else to say other than the fact that I feel like we haven't heard anything Sonic related in a while. The movies are popping the fuck off.
Yeah, the movies are doing well.
I don't see how we don't get a 3D Sonic.
Yeah, they've been fine. Well, they have that new racing game coming out.
Yeah, but like that doesn't count.
Okay.
I
If we
think
see that doesn't count. If we see that on the Switch too.
I just feel like I don't know. Do you guys disagree? Do you think that like a 3D Sonic game, like do you think that era is dead?
No, I think it's still alive. I mean, they came out with Frontiers.
Yeah, Frontiers was well received.
Okay.
I don't know what they would really do after that. Whether they go back more of a classic route or whatnot. Oh, Generations 2 came out recently.
Oh,
That's
then...
the only reason I really didn't say Sonic, because I'm like, they might do the racing game.
Okay, then we'll do Sonic Racing. I honestly don't follow it, so I didn't realize.
Sonic 3D.
No, I'll do Sonic Racing.
Report.
No, we'll do Racing because honestly, I didn't know that a game had recently come out. So.
Yeah, I forgot the exact date, but I think Sonic and Shadow Generations and stuff soon.
You're good. All right, Mike, it's your turn.
Okay, I think I have to say it because I feel like you guys have good guesses left. We have to get a price reveal too. Like the
oh yeah. Yeah, no, we're definitely.
So I'll use my turn. I'll take the hit there.
Okay, that's definitely a given. Like we're 100% getting that. Mike's just making sure we get a few. You know.
Yeah, I know. I do want to make sure we do get those in.
Yeah, like I mean, we're just doing this for fun, just to see what we get right. But if we want bingo, we're gonna get like free space Mario Kart
Yeah,
price,
I imagine people
price reveal dates. Yeah.
All the people will be looking at this and just printing out bingo. So I want to make sure they get the chance at bingo there.
I love it. All right, Ryan, you're up.
So I think this might be my last one because then the last two would be your guys' in the 3 boxes left. So here's my big one. Now Nicole kind of already said this earlier with fighting game, and like big fighting games like need more powerful systems. So I think we could get a game like Tekken, and I think a fighting game that we could get is like that. I think going back to what I said earlier, third-party developers are going to flock to the Switch 2, and I think this is going to be a launch title. I think this is going to be a title, and I could list like 5 or 6 others that might come to Switch that are huge games, but this is going to show like the gaming community. Everybody wants to play games on Switch. This is a big game. It's been getting very popular lately. It's been getting very popular lately with DLCs and new IPs or new games in it. Switch 2 will launch with Elden Ring.
Oh, Ryan. Okay.
I think that there is going to be a huge third-party game. Now, this could be like I think it's a launch title. It could also be like launch year holiday. You guys could take other big ones, maybe like, or you can even use this now, like if you want to say like Halo, or you want to say like, Fallout or Starfield. But I think the Switch 2 will not leave 2025 without at least one huge, like, wow, this game's on Switch.
I'm glad you said this, Ryan. This goes into my guess too, the third party.
Okay.
But yeah, that's a really good one. It was an Elden Ring. That was really good.
That's really good. So my third party, this is gonna be kind of memey, and I don't want it, and I won't buy it. But I think it would be very silly if we didn't get another Last of Us remake.
Oh my god.
I mean, it's like I don't know. I mean, I feel like it's not on any Nintendo console currently, correct?
No.
And like they're boasting that this runs everything so well. I mean, why wouldn't Naughty Dog try to port that again?
I don't know. They staying exclusively to the PlayStation and then PC though. I mean, that'd be really good.
So?
A really big announcement.
Like,
I think it's possible. I think it's low, but I think it's there.
Well, I think it's possible because especially since season 2 is coming out this year. Obviously it keeps selling really well.
Yeah.
I think it's a possibility.
I would say it's very smart on their part if they do it though. Like that's free money for sure.
I guess it just depends on whether or not they have an exclusivity contract with PlayStation.
Yeah.
But all right, Mike, you're the last spot.
Okay, I am stuck between two, so I'll make this a group.
We can replace one too if we feel.
Yeah, actually, if we want one more to do like one final group one, we kind of said like Mouse Game and Mario Paint twice. So Nicole, you either can remove Mouse Game or Paint and keep the other one, and we can.
Let's do Mouse Game. Let's get that out.
Yeah,
okay, so
Mario
Paint.
Paint's more interesting.
All right,
okay.
so Mike, you get your last one, and then we all can come up with like one final one together. So.
I am a little surprised no one said this third party. I think it's going to be Boulder Gate 3.